Have you ever been recommended a show where people say, listen, you got to give it time to develop. Don't judge it by the first season, and you got to just give it a little time before it starts getting better. Much like football, that can happen for a lot of players, especially for these New England Patriots. But we got some hope, so let's jump into it. My name is Aaron. On the daily, pushing out Patriots content to people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So, as always, if you haven't already and you've watched this channel, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. Mean the world to me. Hit the like button and comment below. Question today is, of all the young stars, maybe a more obscure name, we'll say that, a more obscure young Patriots player, who's your favorite? Who do you feel like has the most potential? Who is the sleeping giant? Comment below. Today, what we're going to talk about, two specific players that have a ton of potential moving forward and a lot of good news on their fronts for them personally. So let's jump into it. First and foremost, we have talked a ton about Jalen Polk. And a lot of it's been negative. I'm going to be honest. I've said a lot of negative things about him dropping passes. And we went into this season saying he has a lot. Him and Javon Baker have a lot of potential. Excuse me. Thank you. Who am I saying thank you to? A lot of potential going into this season, especially with the inexperience at the wide receiver core for this team, where it's like, hey, anyone can step in. Anyone can, hey, show us what you got. Sky's the limit. A lot of playing time in front of you potentially if you show us what you got, because we had a rough wide receiver room. Now, Jalen Polk is a guy, he had issue with some drops. He did have 2 touchdowns in the year, did have an injury later on. But the great thing for us moving forward is a lot of times you look at players like this and you know he's got a lot of criticism throughout the league. We pulled up before his stats compared to all the other rookie wide receivers, and it was atrocious. It was rough. A lot of people said in other years he could have been a first-round pick. Obviously, the Patriots got him in the second round, and it has been anything but great. But a lot of you have said, listen, you got to give him time. Just like a TV show like we talked about earlier, you got to give it more than just the first season, which to me is like, well, come on now. You got to hook me in the first season. But you got to give him a chance. Lloyd Christmas, one of the best quotes ever, you're telling me there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance Jalen Polk can pop off. Yes. He's been doing some rehab with the strength and conditioning coach, athletic trainers, all these different people. And he posted something the other day with a workout video, and it said that get back year. So the whole idea is I'm coming back. Gritty work mentality, putting in the work, saying, hey, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And that's what you want to see, especially out of a player that so many people had potential in. And this is just part of his story. Yes, a rough first year. We understand. But moving on, his leadership, or the ability to have leadership like this and the character like this, where you're saying, I'm going to put that in the rearview mirror and I'm going to continue working forward to show everyone I was worth the pick for the New England Patriots. I'm not going to be another bust by the New England Patriots, but I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I think that would be great. Does he have that? Sure. I'm sure he does. But the question is he going to be able to show that in training camp on the field during this next season? What do you think? Comment below. Do you like, obviously, seeing him post stuff like this? I do. Again, I think it shows, hey, we got, again, I think not only for people like Jalen Polk, but this team, this organization as a whole, feels that kind of fire in their belly where it's like, I want to prove people wrong. And I think Jalen Polk is one of those people that hopefully, again, if you watched him in college he was great. I'm a Michigan State fan. I saw him dog on Michigan State twice. It was embarrassing. It was rough. It killed me inside. But I know he has it. He can do it. The question is he going to be able to take that step? I think he can. Comment below. Do you think he can or not? Do you believe in Jalen Polk? Comment below. JP, come on, JP. Next up, Keion White. Now this one is interesting. Title, Mike Vrabel has a chance to do the right thing by star defender held back by bad coaching. I agree and I disagree. Now, Keion White, I went back, watched, and if you've ever watched him at Georgia Tech, what's funny is he actually sacked Drake May a couple times when he was at Georgia Tech, Drake May at North Carolina. And what's very great about Keion White, and he's done this for the Patriots, he can stand up on the edge. He can get down in a sprinter stance. He can go and play defensive tackle. He is very versatile, and he is very hard for offensive linemen to guard, for people to block. That's a big reason that he was selected in the second round by the New England Patriots. Coming into his third year, yes, it is going to be much better for him as a true defensive end as opposed to something in, I'm not going to say it's one of his weaker points because he is very versatile. He can obviously play that stand-up edge, but he is much better playing that down defensive end, switching, playing defensive tackle, and being able to be versatile, like I said, and play that interior. And that is going to be very fun, especially with the stunts that Terrell Williams, that Mike Vrabel, that this team is going to throw at other people. We know the Tennessee Titans were very successful defensively, and that is one thing that gave a lot of people trouble, were the stunts, the blitzes that they ran on other teams. And so that is only going to be great for Keion White. And we know Keion was very frustrated at the end of the year for the New England Patriots. You know, he made some comments kind of basically just saying almost like he wanted to leave and was frustrated. And I get that. He is a star player. There's a lot of other places he possibly could have landed where he could possibly be a Pro Bowler. I don't doubt that one bit. You might be saying, I don't see that. I see that. He has that kind of potential. And I think he, coming into this next year, has that ability to break out and have a Pro Bowl type year where he can prove a lot of people wrong. We also have to understand this. Matthew Judon, traded him out. Again, smart decision by the Patriots, getting that third round pick as well. And with the funny fact, they could possibly sign him for even less instead, but I don't think they'll do that. But anyways, as well, Barmore having the blood clot issues and all these different things. So a lot of that defensive line was depleted. It was rough. And so, you know, your big star, a potential star in Keion White, you know, if you don't have pressure coming from the interior, that's going to make it easier for the offensive line. So, you know, again, let's look at the line for the Philadelphia Eagles. There was pressure everywhere. They rushed 4, and it was absurd how hard it was for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. So, as you add more pieces to that line, it's going to help open up things, especially on the edge for someone like a defensive end like Keion White. If you also look again at past things, like I said, I see it here and there. Again, there was a lot of injuries. There was a lot of issues defensively, offensively last year. So I don't necessarily think he was held back. I think it was just, listen, we're down bodies. This is what we need you to do. And so it was rough. I don't think he was necessarily put in the best position, especially if you've watched his film in college when his coach at Georgia Tech put him in great positions. That's the reason he had the year he did as a senior. And so, again, much like Jalen Polk, Keion White is a guy who's going to be coming off his second year going into his third year where he wants to prove a lot of people wrong. And I think he has that fire in his belly where he's like, hey, I got a defensive-minded head coach. We have this new defensive coordinator who's coming in who has coached defensive line, who is literally going to say, listen, there's a party in the backfield and you're invited. And Keion White's going to be going ham. He's going to be going hard. So what do you think? Keion White, Jalen Polk, what are your thoughts? Again, I think they're going to have promising years this upcoming season. I really hope for it. Who do you think is going to have the better year? And a lot of you might be saying, Aaron, you're insane. Jalen Polk is not going to have a great year. If he's lucky, he's going to make the team. If he's lucky, he's going to make the practice squad. Possibly. Who knows? But I think with the work ethic he has, what he's trying to show, what he's trying to prove, I think he's, like he said, he's on that get-back year. He's on that get-back year, not only him, Keion White, and a lot of other people that want to prove others wrong. Hey, yes, we came into this organization. It was rough, but we want to prove that we belong. I love it. Out of young players, love it. What do you think? Comment below. Enjoy the day. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. We'll talk later. Peace.